Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside South Asia with me, Bhairavi Singh. Our focus today is on India. There has been a major escalation of terror activity in Jammu and Kashmir. The country is taking stock of the security apparatus. We get you the details. Narendra Modi and his cabinet have been sworn in as the new government rolls out its agenda. What are the coalition compulsions at play? And we take a sneak peek at how America is now the new cricket-loving country. All of this and more, first the headlines. Our top focus today, Jammu and Kashmir have been struck by terror. There have been 4 attacks in 4 days. The first one on June 9th, the very day Narendra Modi and his Council of Ministers took oath, posing a major challenge to the new government, prompting the centre to hold a high-level meeting chaired by the Prime Minister in New Delhi, where Prime Minister Modi has asked for the deployment of a full spectrum of India's counter-terror capabilities to stop any further attacks. The Prime Minister's meeting with the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, the Home Minister Amit Shah and other officials comes after terrorists struck 4 places in Riyasi, Kathua and Doda districts of Jammu and Kashmir over the past 4 days, killing 9 pilgrims and a CRPF Jawan and leaving 7 security personnel and several others injured. Jammu and Kashmir is faced with a crucial security situation with the Amarnath Yatra beginning at the end of this month till August 19th, followed by the assembly elections in September. The local police have blamed Pakistan for the recent spurt in violence. The attack comes just days after the Indian general elections witnessed a large turnout. Now, the Jammu and Kashmir police have also released sketches of 4 terrorists involved in the 2 terror incidents in Doda and a reward of 20 lakh rupees or $23,000. The police have also released the sketch of one of the terrorists involved in the Riyasi terror attack on pilgrims. A day earlier, 2 suspected Pakistani terrorists were killed by security forces in Kathua. Now, the sudden rise in violence comes after the region's Director General of Police, R.R. Swain, said the number of local militants was dropping, although 70 to 80 foreign militants continue to be active in the region. So it all started on June 9th when terrorists opened fire on a bus carrying pilgrims in Riyasi district of Jammu and Kashmir, sending it plummeting into a gorge. 9 passengers were killed and 41 others injured. But this was not the first time pilgrims were attacked in Jammu and Kashmir. Here's a detailed report on what happened and how it all transpired.
Massive manhunt underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Riyasi district after a terror attack on a bus carrying pilgrims killed 9 people, including a 2-year-old child. The ambush carried out on Sunday, allegedly by Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists, comes days before the Amarnath Yatra is set to begin in the J&K, posing a major security concern for the police. The Amarnath Yatra sees a major footfall of Hindu pilgrims every year, taking no chances. The NIA has been roped into the investigation, while a major search operation is being carried out by joint teams of the police and army, as well as the CRPF.
We have used 11 teams in 2 different access points. The army and the CRPF are coordinating with us. Overall, it is a complete effort from all the forces on the ground.
3 terrorists identified include Abu Hamza, Adoon and Fauji from Pakistan, while the 4th one remains unidentified. Hamza is the top commander of Lashkar and is also the mastermind behind the attacks in Rajouri, Thana Mandi and Indian Air Force base attacks in Surangkoti area in Kashmir region. In a hunt to find the terrorists, the Indian Army is using drones to search the forest area in Riyasi. Sunday's attack comes a day after Police Chief R.R. Swain said the number of local militants in the region was dropping, but 70 to 80 foreign militants remain active. The Kashmir Police Chief directed officials to beef up security ahead of the Amarnath Yatra and other upcoming festivals such as Kheer Bhavani Festival and Eid ul-Adha on June 17th. The government has announced ex gratia assistance to the kin of the deceased.
Our bus fell into the gorge due to the firing. After tumbling down 5 to 6 times, the bus got stuck on a large rock. Everyone was injured in the fall. Passengers were lying everywhere, some unconscious and some thrown out of the bus.
The last major attack on Hindu pilgrims in the region took place in 2017. Here too, a bus was targeted, killing 8 people. The attack was claimed by the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Over the years, there have been a string of attacks on pilgrims. In 2006, a grenade was lobbed at a bus carrying Amarnath pilgrims at Bihama area in Gandarbal, injuring 5 pilgrims. In 2002, a grenade was lobbed at a taxi carrying pilgrims, while 9 people lost their lives in South Kashmir's Pahalgaon at the Nunwan base camp. In 2001, terrorists used 2 improvised explosive devices on pilgrims at Sheshnag Lake near the Amarnath cave. 13 people died and over a dozen were injured.
Security has been put on high alert after the recent Riyasi attack in the Jammu region. Multiple attacks have taken place over the recent past in the Jammu belt, raising a lot of security concern among the security agencies. Security forces also believe that militant groups have shifted their base from Kashmir Valley to the Jammu's Rajouri-Punch belt, as the area is covered with dense forest and it becomes easier for these militants to hide after they carry out attacks. With video journalist Feroz Idris Lone for WION World is One.
Well, Narendra Modi is back as Prime Minister of India for a record-equaling 3rd term. But his victory this time is vastly different from the last 2. On the one hand, he'll be heavily dependent on the BJP's allies for policy formation, while on the other, there is also a strong opposition to contend with. During the elections, Modi said there will be a 100-day plan to pursue big targets. So, with the pulls and pressures of managing partners, will Modi 3.0 achieve its goals?
Narendra Damodar Das Modi,
a 3-time Indian Prime Minister, only the 2nd man to achieve the feat in independent India after Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in the 1960s. And for the first time for him, he heads a government with support of multiple ally parties. The challenges of balancing the coalition and its partners are part of the package. Of 293 members in his National Democratic Alliance coalition, only 240 are from the BJP, far short of the 272 majority mark. The new BJP-led government of India essentially depends on the TDP, JDU, Shiv Sena and others to survive. And it has to give them some sops in return, like special packages for their states, cabinet ministries to their MPs, and maybe even more. Of the 72 ministers sworn in on Sunday, 11 are from ally parties. 5 are cabinet ministers. The biggest NDA ally party, the Telugu Desam, got the prized Civil Aviation Ministry. K. Ram Mohan Naidu is the youngest cabinet minister. Lalan Singh of the Janata Dal United, another key ally, has been allotted the Ministry of Panchayati Raj and Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Chirag Paswan of the Lok Janshakti Party LJP has got the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. H.D. Kumarasamy of the Janata Dal Secular has got Heavy Industries and Steel. And Chief of Bihar's Hindustan Awam Morcha, Jitan Ram Manjhi, the lone winner from his party, has been made Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. On a broader level though, there's little change. The old BJP faces hold the old portfolios. There's a seeming push for continuity. All eyes now will be on the degree to which Team Modi backs economic reforms and how far it will be tied down by coalition compulsions. Will the political reset be a growth killer? Economic watchers look at an emphasis on pro-labor policies, a big thrust on creating and promoting jobs, lower tariffs to promote trade, investments in health and education, and more liberal land and labor laws. The first session of the 18th Lok Sabha will start on the 24th of June, and it'll be a huge indicator of things to come. A full budget is likely to be tabled in the first week of July. To what degree will the government hold back on drastic reforms? Will the new government favour a pro-welfare budget? We know what the structure of Modi 3.0 will be. The next few days and weeks will reveal what direction it will adopt.
Well, beyond the internal politics, Prime Minister Modi's swearing in also marked a signal to India's neighbourhood first policy and the strategic importance of the Indian Ocean region. Top leaders from neighbouring countries attended the swearing-in ceremony of the new Modi government. While Pakistan and Afghanistan were not on that list, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and the current president of the ruling PMLN also congratulated the Prime Minister. The list of invitees showed India's strategic counterbalance in a region that has China vying for space.
They landed in the Indian capital within hours of each other. Heads of state of 7 countries from the region in all, in New Delhi on PM Modi's invitation. The outreach reflects India's eagerness to engage with this grouping on a strategic level. So you had Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and the 3 island states, Maldives, Mauritius and Seychelles. The leaders were a prominent presence at the swearing-in ceremony event. Later, at the meeting hosted by the President of India, there was a visible bonhomie. Maldivian President Mohd Muizzu was in India despite recent issues with India. The meeting underscored India's neighbourhood first policy and SAGAR doctrine, security and growth for all in the region.
The fact that many of the neighbours of India are here and have been invited is evidence and confirmation of the continuing neighbourhood first policy of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also confirmation that Bhutan as a neighbour matters to him and his government.
India's neighbourhood first policy and SAGAR doctrine are the basis for New Delhi's ongoing engagements with countries in the region. 1. They underline India's expanding vision of the idea of the region, from only the SAARC nations to the wider neighbourhood. Second, the maritime security architecture that counterbalances China's aggressive footprints in the region. And third, a stress on the contours of regional diplomacy. In so many ways, the relationship extends beyond the diplomatic to the personal. Links between Bangladesh PM Sheikh Hasina and her father with the Gandhis go back to the liberation of Bangladesh in 1971. There are similar instances with other regional leaders and their families, all of which highlight yet again the underlying bond that runs across the neighbourhood.
And last Sunday witnessed the Cricket Super Bowl in New York, the T20 Cricket World Cup, and what a thriller it turned out to be. India and Pakistan, 2 South Asian cricket lovers, took centre stage. Here's a first-hand account from my colleague Susan Tehrani as she witnessed her very first cricket match live.
I've long been fascinated by India's passion for cricket, but I'll be the first to admit I'm not exactly a seasoned fan myself. However, today marks a new chapter in my journey as I embark on a mission to understand the game that has captivated millions. I've just collected my media badge here at Eisenhower Park, and I'm ready to immerse myself in what has been dubbed as Super Bowl on steroids. So wish me luck as I dive into the world of cricket to discover what makes it such a beloved sport. come along.
They could bounce back because they've seen a lot of criticism for a lot of the fans, so they have the motivation. Plus, India is their arch rival, so we don't play them often, only in the ICC events, so it's definitely a motivator to bounce back. It's do or die.
Despite a rain delay, fans remained enthusiastic and excited.
But it seems like some fans have come prepared with umbrellas in hand. Others, well, they say they don't care. This is an opportunity of a lifetime for them.
The rain will be stopped in 30 minutes. I hope it stops. I spent $15,000 for the ticket. Yeah, like we are in the Cabana section.
Once the match started, inside the stadium it was a sea of blue and green. The sold-out stadium roared with heart-stopping excitement as the teams took to the field. The intense energy and enthusiasm of the crowd was contagious. Here in New York, the success of the entire New York leg of the T20 World Cup will hinge on India versus Pakistan. The whole multi-million-dollar project, which involved the construction of a 34,000-seat stadium, has been organized around this fixture. Now, the stadium was not sold out for any of the first 3 group games, but tickets for this game, on the other hand, they were long gone even before match day. The ones that were left ranged from $700 all the way to $15,000. The match in New York concluded with India beating Pakistan by 6 runs.
When it's India-Pakistan, it's bigger than the Super Bowl. So we stuck with it. We knew there would be a match. As soon as the sun came out, we were ready for it. We started off bad. It was a little slow at the beginning for India, but towards the end, it was electric. I'm so happy I was here.
Was it an opportunity of a lifetime for you?
Absolutely. You weren't able to see the cricket games in the US. This is the first time it happened in New York City. It's one of the biggest games in the world.
There's no doubt that the ICC is vying to buy American attention to the sport. But for the U.S., this is a new investment. And while cricket is generally considered an expat sport, Americans have been playing for some time. There are over 400 leagues and grassroots cricket groups in the U.S., and the sport has about 20 million fans nationwide. T20 World Cup wants to expand that. And while I'm still not an expert, I really learned to appreciate the skills and strategies of both teams. And with the help of fans inside the stadium who helped me understand the game a little more, and friends in the media booth, I think I am better at understanding cricket right now than I was at the beginning of the match. And who knows, maybe next time I'll even be able to give you a play-by-play.
All right, now let's move on to Nepal, where a drone delivery experiment was made on the world's highest mountain. Plus, highlights from Nepal's Pride Parade. Take a look at some stories from the Himalayan nation.
Colorful flags, music and dance. It's the Nepal Pride Parade in Kathmandu, where the LGBTQ+ members and activists marched for freedom and inclusivity. The participants raised slogans against homophobia and transphobia. The parade was part of the Pride Month that is typically held throughout June worldwide. The Pride Month began after the Stonewall riots, a series of gay liberation protests in 1969. In a landmark ruling in 2007, Nepal's top court ordered the government to end discrimination against the LGBTQ+ community and put in place measures ensuring equal rights for the community. In 2023, Nepal's Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage, becoming the first country in South Asia to do so.
A drone flying on Mount Everest for the Nepali Sherpas who repeatedly put their lives at risk delivering supplies on the tricky terrain of Mount Everest. This can be a game changer. China's DJI has claimed it has completed the world's first successful drone delivery on Mount Everest in April. The Flycart 30 drone carried 3 oxygen bottles and 1.5 kilograms of other supplies from Everest's base camp to Camp 1, located at over 6,000 meters above sea level. The same drone then carried trash back down to the base camp at a height of 5,364 meters above sea level. These drones have been subjected to rigorous tests ensuring their capability to handle extreme environmental challenges, including wind resistance, low temperatures ranging from -15 to 5 degrees Celsius, and weight capacity tests. This development could potentially revolutionize Everest mountaineering logistics, facilitate trash cleanup efforts, and improve safety for all involved.
The next story from Nepal is of honey hunters of the Gurung community in Lamjung and neighboring Kaski district who are fleeing the sting of climate change. Hunting for honey is an additional source of income for them. Besides paddy, corn, millet and wheat they grow on their farms. Climate change is affecting the Himalayan cliff peas in multiple ways, putting stress on maintaining the hive strength and the honey stock of the colonies.
Too much rain, too little rain, erratic and intense rain, long dry spell, heat and cold, all these extreme weather conditions, they put stress on maintaining the strength and the honey stock of the colonies.
The bee numbers and hives are declining with each passing year, threatening the very tradition of honey hunting, handed down for generations. This decline also means insufficient pollination of high mountain crops and wild flora, a decrease in the quantity of crop yield, and less fruit or seed setting.
And well, that's all we have time for in this edition of Inside South Asia. Here's a look at Maniza Talash, the first female breakdancer from Afghanistan who is all set to represent the refugee Olympic team at the Paris Olympics. Take a look at her journey and we will see you next week.
If I were in Afghanistan, I would not live because the Taliban do not like the sport I am doing and it is very dangerous for me and my family. But I am here doing it. I am not afraid.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.